Hello, my name is Dr. Edem Mahu. I'm a senior lecturer at the Department of Marine and Fisheries Sciences of the University of Ghana and also a co-lead on the Mankoga project, which means mangroves as nature-based solutions to coastal hazards in Ghana. I'm very pleased to be giving this lecture on living with mangroves, awareness raising and co-design approach. So what are mangroves? They are a group of trees and shrubs that live in the coastal intertidal zone. We can recognize them by their dense tangle of prop roots that make them appear to be standing on stilts above the water. In the picture there, you can clearly see their roots. There are about 80 different species of mangrove trees. The unique thing about mangroves is that they live in low oxygen soil where water movement is low and which allows sediments to accumulate. They only grow at tropical and subtropical latitudes, so you will not find them in the temperate regions. Mangroves are very important for several reasons, which is why we should care about them. First of all, they help to promote biodiversity. How? So their roots that are submerged in the water serves as a habitat for several aquatic organisms, including fish and their juvenile ones. Their leaves and branches also serve as a home to several terrestrial organisms. They are a resource store. So in some countries, they serve as fuel wood. In other countries, they are used for construction purposes. But most importantly, their leaves also have medicinal values. They help to protect the coastline against natural hazards such as erosion, flooding, and pollution. They help to regulate climate by serving as a storage for carbon. Also, they help to contribute to the oxygen that we breathe in as humans. Then finally, they also present huge economic benefits to the communities that surround them and even to at the national level. Now, some of these socio-economic benefits include the fisheries, the ecotourism that they promote, and also where their wood is used in the construction industry. But there is a caveat there, because if we are harvesting their woods, or if we are harvesting them for their woods, then we have to make sure that we are planting them back just as we do for other tree plantations. So for all those reasons, it is important that we live with mangroves rather than living without them. Now, what do I mean by living without them? When we want to move into an area where we already have these mangroves existing, we should not remove them, but we as designers, as architects, as city planners, need to find ways of incorporating them into our design, because by so doing, they help to build the resilience of the coastline against natural disasters. In the image, we can clearly see that the mangroves are acting as a buffer zone. And by so doing, what are they doing? They are reducing or minimizing the impact of those tall waves, thereby protecting lives and properties. Globally, mangroves are under both natural and anthropogenic threats. When we talk about natural, we are talking about climate-related threats, which includes increasing temperatures, rising sea levels, and changing precipitation regimes, which are all affecting the environment or the environmental chemistry of these mangroves. Then, on the other hand, we human beings are also degrading mangrove ecosystems by clearing away the land to build our homes, to set up our industries, and also to farm. Then, when we also modify water courses, we change the dynamics of the environment of these mangroves. And also, we also pollute their environments. Remember, their roots are acting as a trap. And so anything that is coming, be it plastic, what have you, they are getting trapped and they breathe through their roots. So when we pollute their environment with all this debris, they are not able to breathe properly. The extent of mangrove loss is grave, and we can see that Asia is the number one continent that has lost most of its mangroves. They do a lot of harvesting of mangroves there for the wood. Uh, North America has also seen significant amounts of its mangrove ecosystems going. Then we also have South America, then we have Africa in there. So globally, we are losing our mangrove covers. It is important that we use approaches that seek to restore um, the mangrove sites that have been lost or reduce the pressures such as the land use change and also mitigate um, the impact so that we can promote biodiversity. How do we do this? We can formulate strategies to prevent the illegal logging of the mangroves. We have to replant the trees that have been lost. We need to also bring in the community when we are making decision about these mangroves. We also need to use them as ecotourism concepts, because when we are able to promote them as a potential source of ecotourism, we reduce other pressures such as cutting them down for fuel, wood, etc. Co-designing a project speeds up the knowledge uptake process as well as speeding up any policy, the uptake of any policy reforms that evolves from that project. In our Mankoga project, Mankoga translates as mangroves as nature-based solutions to coastal hazards in Ghana. In that project, we have adopted the co-design approach right from the early onset of the project, which is developing the proposal to the stage of implementing the projects. Co-designing a project ensures that the priorities, perspectives, and knowledge of stakeholders and practitioners are incorporated into the design and production of the research. Additionally, it promotes a sense of ownership among the stakeholders. For the Mankoga project, this is how we rolled out the co-design phase. We started with what we call the stakeholder mapping, which involved leveraging on existing networks, brainstorming, and using snowball approach to generate inventory of multi-level stakeholders. We paid early or courtesy call to stakeholder institutions, so key national institutions, to introduce the project and solicit support and ensure uptake of the project output. We also engaged stakeholders through regular emails, phone calls, letters, community tools that were developed for the projects. We used social media to engage a wider stakeholder. Then we also conducted one-on-one interviews and stakeholder workshops. Now, with all this, we were able to develop a theory of change together with the stakeholders. And this is what we have now moved to the implementation phase of the projects. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions regarding the Mankoga projects, please feel free to write to us at the email address that I have provided, and we will be very happy to get back to you. Thank you once again.